What's up, guys? I saw Spider-Man Far From Home last week and it was really good. I had to finish my animation before I made this video though, but now that's out of the way, let's get straight into it. This video is about whether or not the LEGO Spider-Man Far From Home sets, which were released back in May, are accurate. There will be some Far From Home movie spoilers in this video, but let's get straight into it. The first set is 40343 Spider-Man and the Museum Break-In, and it comes with 3 minifigs: Ned, Spider-Man with his mask partly pulled up, and Maria Hill. Ned is a pretty good figure. His hair could be a slightly better color, and his face isn't perfect, but they both get the job done. I don't think Ned's shirt is supposed to look like anything in particular, and the legs are a fine color. Overall, this figure is decent. There are definitely things that could be changed to improve it, though. Spider-Man is a much better figure, even though Peter only uses a suit for about 2 minutes in the movie. Anyway, the mask, torso, and legs are all nearly perfect, and the second headpiece thrown in is a great inclusion. Maria Hill, however, isn't too great. Her head and hair are good enough, but her torso and legs don't really look like anything she wears in the film. She could be worse, though. The drone is really the worst part of this set. The drones in a later set in this line look way better, but LEGO decided to use this one in this set for some reason. Anyway, it's terrible. Moving on, there's some museum displays and a pizza also included in this set, which I couldn't care less about. Anyway, overall, this figure pack is kind of a disappointment. The figures weren't bad, but the drone is terrible, and these characters were never all in the same place at the same time. I give this set a 2-star rating on accuracy. The second set is 76128 Molten Man Battle, and the 3 minifigs included are Spider-Man, Mysterio, and a Fireman. Spider-Man in his stealth suit is really accurate, although it could be a slightly darker color. Aside from that, it's basically perfect, with great printing on every piece. I'm actually kind of surprised that LEGO printed the legs on this figure, given that they hardly ever do. Anyway, the next minifigure is Mysterio, who's almost as good as the last. His torso printing could be a little bit better, but it definitely gets the job done, and the rest of the printing is great. The helmet could also use some work, though. The mold itself is perfect, but the head inside really should be like transparent blue or something to be more accurate. His power blasts are also the wrong color, but I couldn't really care less. Overall, Mysterio is a pretty good figure that could be made better with a few minor changes. The final minifigure is the Fireman. He doesn't exist in the movie. We could have gotten another one of Peter's classmates instead. That would have made more sense. Onto the build, Molten Man himself, or the Fire Elemental, and he's actually really good. The face isn't great, but the whole design used with the different things melting into him as he expands is amazing. I'm really surprised LEGO was able to pull this off in an accurate representation. Anyway, overall this set is more accurate than any Avengers Endgame set. With 2 accurate minifigures and an almost perfect build, the only thing keeping this set from a 5-star rating is the Fireman. It gets a 4-star rating on accuracy. The next set is 76129 Hydro Man Attack, which comes with 4 minifigs: Mysterio, Peter Parker, MJ, and Hydro Man. Mysterio is the same as he was in the last set, so we'll skip over him. The Peter Parker minifigure, however, is the first we've ever gotten, at least from the MCU version. I really like the mask piece included that's like halfway on, and the torso is accurate to the movie, even if Peter doesn't actually have the suit on under his clothes in this scene. His pants are technically the wrong color, but the only problem I really have with this figure is the face. Not only does it not look that much like Peter, it's also the same exact piece used on Ant-Man in the Avengers Endgame sets. I don't like it when Marvel sets use the same heads on different characters, and you'd think they could find a different head for each one, but apparently they can't. Anyway, the figure is still really good and definitely one of my favorites from this line. Next up is MJ, who is absolutely terrible. Her hair color and style are both wrong, her face isn't that great, and her torso is just a reuse that doesn't really look like anything she would wear. The only accurate thing about this figure is the legs. This might be the worst figure in the line, but Happy Hogan's pretty bad too. The last figure of this set is Hydro Man, and he comes with this brick-built extension of himself to make him look better. To be honest, he's not that great, but I don't see how LEGO could have made him look good. I guess they could have tried something like they did for Molten Man, but I don't think that would have really worked either. Anyway, Hydro Man isn't that accurate. Onto the main build of the set, which is a cool looking bridge in Venice with shops on the sides. Obviously the bridge isn't the right scale, but it's a great representation of it, and there's even a bell tower like the one Peter holds up with his webs. This is easily my favorite build of the line, and one of the most accurate I've seen from Marvel in a while. Overall, this set is almost as accurate as the last, with a couple really accurate figures and an amazing build. The only thing I really don't like about the set is MJ. Anyway, this set gets a 4-star rating on accuracy. The fourth and final set is 76130 Stark Jet and the Drone Attack, and the 4 minifigures are Mysterio, Spider-Man, Nick Fury, and Happy Hogan. Mysterio is once again a repeat figure as well as Spider-Man. I don't mind the Mysterio, but I'm disappointed about the Spider-Man, since it could have been a black and red version instead. This suit is accurate, but it wasn't used in the scene, and I already have like 50 of these. The next figure is Nick Fury, who is really good and probably my second favorite version of him to date. His face looks great, his torso is accurate, and even his legs have printing. LEGO still hasn't figured out what guns really look like, but I don't care about his accessory anyway. Finally, we have Happy Hogan, possibly the worst figure in this line. His hair is terrible, and his face doesn't have any facial hair, which is one of his most easily identifiable features. I mean, his torso and legs are fine, but I could build a better custom version of him in like 10 seconds. Before we get to the Stark Jet, let's take a look at the drones in this set. While their coloring is a little off, their overall design is good, and they're way better than the drone in the first set. And I'm guessing the coloring issue is because of concept art. Anyway, they're decently accurate, but not great. Finally, onto the Stark Jet. Now, I couldn't really find any good pictures of it, but it is really accurate, and you can tell from the pictures I do have that the design and color are great. It does have a function that allows it to drop bombs out of the bottom, but that's just to add a play feature. The only thing I really wish they would have added is that cradle thing that Spider-Man designs his new suit in. That would have been really cool and made the interior of this be better than any average ship in Marvel sets. Anyway, overall this set is pretty good. Its figures were okay, having their highs and lows along with missed opportunities. The drones weren't great, but the jet really made up for them, and I gave this set a 3-star rating on accuracy. So, are the LEGO Spider-Man Far From Home sets accurate? Obviously, the answer is yes. The figures were really good overall, and the builds were, in the most part, way above average. There were definitely some things in this line that could have been better, but they were easily better than the Avengers Endgame sets. Anyway, I give these sets a 4-star rating on accuracy. And that's it. Like this video if you want to see more like it in the future, and feel free to subscribe. Also, make sure you have your notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Thanks, guys.